What's poppin', guys? Welcome to my Draw My Life special episode for you guys that I'm going to draw for you right now. But first, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the love and support during this whole entire journey. If it wasn't for you guys, I would be nothing right now. So thank you guys so much. I love you to death. So you're probably wondering where this all began. And as you guys see right here, that's me right there. Damn, I'm looking skinny, but that's me, guys. I was born on Valentine's Day, February 14, 1990. That makes me 29 years old. I have a beautiful mother right here, and I have a wonderful father right here, guys. And when I was 6 years old, my parents gave birth to my beautiful sister right here. Hey, sister! We were one big happy family, guys, and believe it or not, I was born in a time where there were no cell phones, there were no internet, it was just raw nature. Guys, there was nothing to do. There was no YouTube to watch. Oh my God. Life has changed drastically since I was born, and I'm very excited for the future. But even though there was no internet, no cell phones, no texting, nothing like that, there was still video games. Thank God. Okay, guys, there was still video games, and I saved up all my allowance, guys. I used to do chores around the house for so long just to try to get a Nintendo 64, because way back then that was the brand new system, was the N64. And guess what, guys? I finally got it. I was so happy playing Mario and Donkey Kong Racing. I just loved it, guys. But you know who didn't like it? My dad. He hated it, guys. I would play video games non-stop, 24 hours a day non-stop. And he used to tell me, get outside and play. Do not come back until supper time. You cannot be inside all day. It's not healthy. So outside I went, where I used to explore around in the woods, the train tracks. I used to go hang out with my friends and just build forts and just enjoy life, guys. And at this point in my life, I was happy. But during my childhood, it wasn't always so good because my dad was in the military. He was in the army, guys, so he used to always get moved around over and over, and we'd have to change houses all the time. And you know what changing houses means? It means trying to make new friends over and over and over again. As you get older, it gets harder and harder and harder to make friends, and eventually I just became shy, quiet, and I used to get made fun of on a daily basis. Everyone used to just laugh at me, and it just made me very, very sad. But eventually everything turned around for me in grade 7 and 8 when finally my dad stayed in the same place for more than like 6 months, and I actually was able to gain some friends. And I had two best friends. We did everything together, and life was great during this time. I had so much fun with girls and my friends. We did everything together. And at this point in my life, I realized that I truly loved art. I love to draw, I like to write songs, and all my friends were going to art school, but my parents didn't let me, guys. I don't know why, but my parents took me and put me in the opposite school of all of my friends. I finally had friends, and my parents separated me from them. They put me in a big high school, and I knew nobody. I was completely alone, and I was really shy. If you're shy in high school, you will get made fun of so much, and that's exactly what happened to me, guys. It was impossible for me to make friends, and once it became established that I had no friends, I was not about to start getting them, guys. It would not happen, and I would get bullied over and over and over and over again. The kids at school would beat me up, they would call me names, and then I would get onto the bus to go home, and then random people on that bus would pick on me and call me names as well. And because of this, I didn't want anything to do with school, and my report card reflected that very much, guys. I got like straight F's on my report card, all F's. I am not even joking, guys. And because of these bad grades and how I was skipping class all the time, my dad would constantly yell at me and ground me, guys. I was literally locked in my room without my N64, without a cell phone, without anything at all the time. And this made me extremely sad. My life became this weird routine of going to school, getting picked on, beat up, spit on, going home on the bus, having the same things happen. And because of my bad grades, when I got home, my dad would yell at me, spank me, and take away my TV or my video games and everything that I had. Literally everywhere I went was bad. School was bad, my home was bad. Honestly, at this point in my life, I felt super depressed and trapped. It was horrible. It got so bad that as soon as I turned 16 years old, I dropped out of school and I ran away from home. This was the only way out of this bad situation that I was in. And of course, if you're gonna run away at 16 years old, you're not gonna make a lot of money. So I went straight to the poorest neighborhood I could find. And this neighborhood that I ran away to was very, very dangerous, guys. It had all sorts of bad, violent people that did a lot of bad things. Eventually, I realized that I needed some money or else I was going to literally be sitting on the street homeless at 16 years old. So eventually, I got a job at Walmart. Of all places, Walmart was my very, very first job. Walmart gave me enough money where I could actually live on my own at 16 years old. And eventually, through working for Walmart, I met a guy who worked at the McDonald's in Walmart who had an apartment by himself who would let me move in with him. But of course, he lived in the worst neighborhood possible, and actually our house got broken into and completely robbed at one point. It was very, very bad. There was people on drugs there. It was very, very bad, guys. This was not a nice place, and I slept on his couch. He only had a 1-bedroom apartment. Eventually, my friend convinced me to start selling some very, very bad things, and I ended up doing that for some extra money because I was 16 and I needed to live. Walmart doesn't pay a lot of money, guys, if you didn't know. Walmart actually found out what I was doing and I got fired from work. I had no more money coming in at all. So eventually my friend who I was living with told me I had to move out. And at this point I had nowhere to go at all until my uncle and my aunt actually said that I could come there in London, Ontario and live with them if I promised to go back to school. So I accepted their offer and moved to London, Ontario with my uncle and my aunt. On my first day at school, I didn't want to get bullied or picked on at all anymore in my life. So I decided I gotta go into school strong. I gotta go there and I gotta just start a fight. First day so people know not to mess with me. And I did that, guys. I got in a fight and I won. I actually beat him. But because of that, I actually got expelled from school. So I got kicked out and my aunt and uncle said I could no longer live with them. So I was back on my own and I went straight back to the worst neighborhood in the city because I had nowhere to go. I didn't have any money. This was the only place I could go. And since I had no money coming in at all, I had to go to this place that would actually give out free food. It was like a soup kitchen, guys. And at that point, after I ate, I left the building and I got robbed at gunpoint. They took everything I had and I barely had anything. I think they stole like some jewelry I had, some silver jewelry. I don't know. It was probably worth $20, but they held me up at gunpoint. So I was scared. So I gave it to them, guys. My life was so crazy. I was left with absolutely nothing. Nowhere to go. I had absolutely nothing. And at this point, I was very, very sad. But I did eventually find a job and get an apartment on my own, but I had enough of it. Life was not good for me, guys. I was living in a bad neighborhood around bad people, so I had to get out. And my dad was in the army, so I decided I would go into the army just like my dad. And that's exactly what I did. At 18 years old, I signed up for the Army. And the Army was actually the best thing that ever happened to me. I met some amazing people that I built very strong friendships with, and I had some of the best times in my life ever, guys, going through boot camp and learning everything to do with the Army. The Army was great. I had so much fun. And finally, once again in my life, I was happy. After a while of being in the Army, I realized there was something missing in my life, and I became more and more unhappy. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do in life, but I knew deep down that the Army wasn't it. And since I wasn't following my dreams, I would cover this up by spending lots and lots of money. I would get credit cards and just spend. And then I would go out with my friends and I would drink. We drank all the time. I started drinking all the time. It actually got really bad until one day I finally fell in love. And after about a year of dating her, we moved in together. But eventually she told me she no longer loves me and she broke up with me, and my life spiraled out of control. I was so heartbroken. I began drinking every single day, every day, always drinking. I would just try to cover up the pain I had inside my heart because deep down, I loved this girl. I began getting in fights with people at the bar. I was seriously angry all the time, and eventually it led to me getting thrown in jail for 90 days. I had literally hit rock bottom in my life. This was the lowest of the low in my life, but actually this was a turning point in my life. After the 90 days in jail, I eventually got out, but the military did not like it at all. So they told me, "You're out of here, son. You gotta go. We can't have nobody in here that's going to jail. You gotta leave." At this point, I was 21 years old, and I know I wrote 20 years old, but I was 21 years old. I had nowhere to go at all. I had $50,000 in debt that I owed, no house, nowhere to go, a criminal record. So I decided for the first time since 16 years old that I had to move back with my mom and dad. But since I've been gone for so long, when I got back, I found out that my mom and dad had split up and got a divorce. At this point in my life, I decided that drinking honestly ruined my life. I could never drink again at all, and decided I would never drink again in my life. I started to read a ton of books about happiness, success, and I actually got a job at Costco and started paying off that $50,000 that I owed. And after years and years of saving every single cent I had, I eventually paid it all back. But I found myself in the same situation that happened in the Army. I was not living my dream. I became super unhappy. I worked at Costco for 3 years and I hated every single day of it. The only good thing about that job was not only did I pay off all my debt, but I saved up $50,000. But at the end of the day, I was still very sad. At this point in my life, I found myself watching YouTube almost every single day, and I realized that that is what I truly wanted to do. I wanted to make videos. I wanted to be like my favorite YouTubers, PewDiePie, FouseyTube, Jenna Marbles, and Leafy is Here. I loved all those channels, and I wanted to be like them. But I also realized I was never going to be happy working for somebody else who would tell me what to do every single day. I hated my boss at work, so I wanted to do anything to be my own boss. I went dumpster diving for money, and I also sold something very, very bad for money, guys. But now this thing is legal. But at the time, it was a big risk. I did anything I could to free myself of Costco, or any job for that matter. I did not want to have a boss. I wanted to run my own life. So while I was working on freeing myself of my evil job, I opened up my first YouTube channels. And after 1 year, I got 100 subscribers and 10 views per video. Not 10,000, not 10 million. I literally got 10 views per video, and 9 of them were probably my own views checking to see if people were watching my videos yet. But during this initial year of making YouTube videos, I actually managed to save up $40,000 by dumpster diving. Yes, that is 100% real. I actually made $40,000 from dumpster diving, and that was how I was able to buy my very first house that I would rent out to people, and that house cost $300,000. I was on the right track to freeing myself of my job. I was literally making more money doing dumpster diving than I was at my jobs. I would call in sick a lot, guys, and it was all to do YouTube videos on my spare time because YouTube was my true passion. I just wanted to free myself of my job by doing anything just so I could make YouTube videos because that was my true passion. Eventually, I decided to make a brand new channel called Imjaystation. And the reason I called it Imjaystation was because it rhymed with PlayStation, and I wanted to make gaming videos, more specifically Minecraft videos. But after about a month or two of trying to make Minecraft videos, I realized I only get 11 views a video. So I decided eventually to start trying everything. I did pranks, I did story times, I did vlogs, I did challenges. I told myself, out of everything I'm doing, whatever gets a lot of views first, I will keep doing it. And doing all of these different things, I still only got like 12 views a video. Everything in my life at this point was pretty good, guys. It was actually really good. I would call in sick a lot and just do YouTube videos, and I was actually living the life I wanted to live way before I was even successful at YouTube. I was pretty much doing YouTube every single day until one day my boss called me and said, "You missed so much work that you are no longer a full-time employee. We're cutting your hours in half." And I wasn't even that mad because, like I said, guys, I was making so much money in the dumpster. But about 2 days later, I went back to the dumpster for another dive, and they found out I was doing this, so they now started breaking all the items they threw in the dumpster. I literally had almost $0 coming in at this point, and after a year of Imjaystation, I only had 850 subscribers and about 100 views per video. I was gaining views, I was gaining subscribers, but very, very slowly. Like I said, guys, 1 year and I still only got 100 views a video. I was honestly panicking at this point. I had no idea what to do. I had so much free time on my hands, no money coming in, so I decided to just jump on YouTube even more hard. I decided to give it my all, guys. Put all my time into YouTube. And since my job cut my paycheck in half, I had no more money from dumpster diving coming in. Every time the people who were renting my house gave me money, instead of paying for the house, I would pocket the money and put it into YouTube. I needed YouTube to work so badly. After a couple months of me not paying for my house and pocketing the money that the people renting my house would give me, the bank eventually came to my house and said, "Give me that house back right now." And they took my house from me, guys. They took the house. I owed so much money on the house because I was taking the money because I wanted to do YouTube that badly. I hated my job so bad, guys. You do not understand. But at this point in my life, guys, it was not looking good. I barely had a job anymore, and it was not looking good at all. I would spend hours and hours sitting there daydreaming of 1 million subscribers on YouTube, a lot of money, a bunch of houses that I own. And because I tried to follow my dreams, I ended up with nothing. Again, I had nothing. I absolutely needed YouTube to work out. If not, I would have to spend the rest of my life at a job I hated with a boss that I hated and forever unhappy. So I decided to sneak inside of the mall overnight to do something called the 24-hour challenge, when all of a sudden I woke up with a bunch of police and canine dogs barking at me, and they arrested me. They said, "You're under arrest. We're charging you with breaking and entering, and that is a charge that will get you 10 years in prison." I literally thought my life was over, all from following my dreams. I got out of jail after a couple hours of being there with a bunch of charges, but I decided to post the video anyway. I mean, I was already in a bunch of trouble. I might as well just try to post this video and hopefully it would blow up on YouTube. But guys, it only got 100 views. But about a week or two later, all of a sudden my subscribers were at like 4,000 subscribers and I was like, how did this happen? That's when I turned on the TV and I realized that the news was talking about me sneaking into the mall. And as soon as the news did their video about me, my video in the mall actually went to 1 million views. I was so happy. Before this point, I had literally never gotten above like 200 views on YouTube. But now I have 1 million views on YouTube. So the very next day, I decided to call in sick to my job again, even though they were mad at me for doing that. And I decided to stay 24 hours overnight in a church. And then the very next day, I would stay 24 hours overnight in a bowling alley. And I kept on doing this over and over and over because the views were going 1 million, 1 million, 1 million, 1 million every single time. I literally went from making $1,600 per month at Costco to $3,000 per day at YouTube. Okay, guys, like literally, okay, 3,000 a day. I was so happy. My dream was finally coming true. I could be a YouTuber. I could make these awesome YouTube videos that I love to do and actually be able to make a living doing it. I was so happy, guys. So happy that I went back to Costco and I told my boss that I hated so much that I quit. I literally quit my job. This was a dream taking place. I was honestly living a dream. This was insane, guys. You couldn't imagine the feeling that I had. It was incredible. After all those years of pain, everything was finally working out. And before it was even a month of me getting 1 million views every time I dropped a video, YouTube said that I had $40,000 coming my way after only 1 month. Guys, I was so happy until YouTube said, nope, we're not giving you that $40,000. And they shut down my channel from making any money whatsoever right after I had just quit my job. And the reason was I had been making content that depicts illegal activities. Sneaking into a mall overnight is definitely not legal. So they took away all that money and I had no job, no money coming in. My house had been taken away. I had literally lost everything and I was left yet again with nothing. My dream had literally turned into a nightmare overnight, guys. My channel was gone, guys, so I decided to make a new one called imjaystation. But when I applied to put ads on my videos, they actually said denied. I was denied ads on my videos because of my old channel. They knew it was still me. YouTube is not dumb, guys. YouTube is not dumb. And at this point, again, I literally thought my life was over forever, guys, forever. I had a bunch of charges from sneaking into these places. No money, nothing. I lost everything, guys. I lost everything chasing my dream. I was so devastated, guys. It was insane. I actually like cried for real, guys. I literally cried. It was so bad. So me not having a job, not having any money, getting arrested, losing my YouTube channel, and the ability to make any future money on YouTube, I was devastated. So in my head, I thought my life was over, guys. So you know what I did? I decided to go and get a loan for $7,500. This was the most money that they would give me. And I said, you know what? My life is completely ruined. I might as well just go take this $7,500 and just go make YouTube videos. It's what I really want to do. It's what I really want to do. And after all this money runs out, then my life is over. That's where I would end it. But you know what, guys? It all worked out. There was a miracle that happened. Somebody reached out to YouTube for me to get them to agree to let me actually run ads on my videos again. And now, guys, I have 4.4 million wonderful, amazing subscribers that I call the J Nation. Thank you guys so much for everything you've ever done. Just for supporting me and being there and watching my videos has made my dreams all come true. I love you guys so much for all of this. Thank you so much. It means everything to me.